Before we get into today's show, let me tell you about the latest deal from Mike Lindell, MyPillow. Once again, the big box stores have canceled their orders simply because they don't agree with Mike Lindell's politics. They don't like it because he supports President Trump. Well, he's going to pass that savings on to you. No more middleman. And boy, does he have some great deals on the Giza Dream sheets and the Percal bed sheets. Listen to this. Giza Dream queen size, normally $139.98. Your wholesale price, $69.99 when you use promo code Joey. King size, only $79.99. The Percal queen size, normally $89.98. Your wholesale price, $29.98 when you use promo code Joey. Just call 1-800-893-4059 or go to mypillow.com. Always use promo code Joey. Free shipping options available. This allotment's not going to last very long. When they're gone, they're gone. mypillow.com. Promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. All right, wrapping up this week as I will be heading back to the Carolinas tomorrow. But today, we're in Victoria, British Columbia. The Inner Harbour is as smooth as it can be. Float planes are skipping across as they're coming in and out. The Parliament buildings, the Empress Hotel look like they are just on a postcard. Victoria sits on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. There's no bridge to the mainland, so again, you fly in or ferry in, stroll the harbor causeway, wander Fisherman's Wharf for fish and chips, or hop a water taxi and watch street performers juggle against a backdrop of just the beauty of Victoria. Founded in 1843 as a Hudson's Bay Company fort, named for Queen Victoria, the city kept its British bones afternoon tea at the Empress, double-decker buses and gardens everywhere, and beautiful gardens. Long before that, this was and is Coast Salish territory, Songhees and Esquimalt nations whose culture and art are woven throughout the region. Butchart Gardens is a national historic site. It flows with color just up the peninsula from where we are now. Beacon Hill Parks marks the mile zero of the Trans-Canada Highway, and just a lot of other things. It is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Up next, a policy idea that's making the rounds, particularly in New York. Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani's push for government-run, city-owned grocery stores. Sounds compassionate, but in practice, it is a costly trap. Up next, I take a look at a failed $17 million plus debacle when Kansas City tried their hand at a government-run grocery store. Did not work out so well. When a private grocer fails, investors eat the loss. When a government grocer fails, you and I do. That's up next. America is in a health crisis, and by America, not just strangers across the country. It's personal. Me, you, friends, and family. And a major cause? Excess weight. Joey Hudson here. The solution isn't expensive shots like Ozempic. It's learning how to eat and think about food differently, and that's what PhD Weight Loss does. Their clients lose up to a third of their body weight, no drugs, just real food, behavioral coaching, and proven science to turn your body into a fat-burning machine. Sure, you could spend up to $20,000 a year on injections that burn muscle, not fat, and come with risks like pancreatitis or bowel blockages, only to gain it all back. PhD helps your body naturally produce weight loss hormones like GLP-1s. No shortcuts, just results that last. Already on Ozempic? Dr. Ashley Lucas and her team will help you safely transition off and keep losing weight. Let's make America healthy again. Call 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or visit myphdweightloss.com. We've all been following, to a degree, this crazy Democrat socialist mayor candidate in New York City, Zohran Mamdani. Now, most of you listening probably don't even care. It's not going to affect you. But I think it's just a real testament to what the Democrat Party has gone to, because it looks like this guy is going to be elected. And, you know, one of the things that he has been promoting is city-owned grocery stores. He wants the local supermarket to be run by City Hall. Now, what could possibly go wrong with that? Well, let's check in with Kansas City, Missouri, because they've been running a real-life test of this exact same concept. And guess what happened yesterday? They locked the doors for good. Game over. Checkmate. Now, here's the story. Back in 2016, Kansas City bought the Linwood Shopping Center. 2 years later, they poured millions, and I mean millions of dollars into opening a shiny, city-owned grocery store called Sun Fresh. They told the community it would bring fresh food, low prices, and stability to an underserved area. Total bill to taxpayers? Over $17 million for the property and renovations. Then, when things started going south, the city dumped in another $750,000 in emergency funding just last year to keep the lights on. And despite all of that, the place was plagued with empty shelves, crime, and such low morale that employees were reportedly carrying tasers to work. Now, this week, customers showed up to find a note on the door saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, sorry, folks, we can't serve you anymore. We tried. That's it. Years of community investment, gone. We're closed. Out of here. Now, Kansas City officials are scrambling to figure out what to do with the giant taxpayer-funded failure. They're talking about private operators, sustainable solutions, which is bureaucratic speak for let's get this off our books before it bleeds any more money. And here's the thing you need to know. Mamdani in New York City is pointing to the same model as his big idea to save New Yorkers from price gouging. He says his city-run grocery stores will skip rent, skip property taxes, and sell at wholesale prices to make food cheaper. Well, that's kind of what they did in Missouri, right? Kansas City. Didn't work. Did not work. I mean, it sounds great on TikTok, but let's be real. The Kansas City store also skipped rent. They didn't pay property taxes, and they still couldn't survive. You know why? Because government can't run a grocery store like a business. There's no competition. There's no accountability. There's no profit incentive. And in the real world, those things matter. I mean, folks, think about it. If City Hall can't even fill potholes, do you really want them handing out produce in the aisle? Do you think they can be responsible for the meat section? Do you think that they can do anything that could compete with Ingles, for example? Ingles, our neighborhood grocery store. No way. So again, I understand that what Zohran Mamdani does in New York, probably not going to affect any of us. But if he's successful, if he wins his election in New York, and again, it looks like he might, then others are going to get the same idea. And this could filter outside of New York City. It could come to other areas, and then it might actually start affecting us. Others might get these bright ideas that, he's doing it in New York, so why don't we try it here? And it's real simple to see just what a failure it was in Kansas City. I mean, all you have to do is follow the money. Because the Kansas City Sun Fresh story isn't just a cautionary tale. It's a masterclass in how government burns through taxpayers' money when it tries to play grocery store operator. Let me give you some of the numbers here. Again, it started in 2016. Kansas City taxpayers coughed up $5.5 million to buy the Linwood Shopping Center. Then the city poured another $12 million plus to renovate and open Sunfresh in 2018. We're already talking over $17 million before the first apple or loaf of bread ever hit the shelves. Think about that. $17 million of taxpayers' dollars. And that wasn't the end, because once the store started struggling, guess what? Surprise, surprise, the city quietly slipped in another $750,000 in, quote, emergency funding just last year to try to keep the doors open. That's like putting duct tape on a sinking ship. So what did taxpayers get for all that money? 5 years of spotty service, empty shelves, employee safety issues, and now a locked door with a goodbye note. If you break that $17 million over the roughly 5 years the store was open, taxpayers were effectively subsidizing this store to the tune of over $3 million a year. And remember, that's not counting the normal operating costs that the store itself was bleeding through. So here comes Zohran Mamdani in New York City, standing on a soapbox saying, hey, we should totally do this in the nation's most expensive, most heavily taxed city. He's pitching no rent, no property tax, wholesale pricing like it's some magic formula. Folks, Kansas City already had that advantage, and it still failed. Because the problem isn't rent or taxes. The problem is that when government runs a store, it's not run for efficiency. It's run for politics, and nobody's held accountable. If crime spikes, they won't crack down because they're afraid of backlash. If shelves are empty, They'll blame supply chain challenges instead of fixing procurement. And when the red ink piles up, they'll just throw more money, your money, taxpayers' monies, until it's politically safe to close it. That's exactly what happened in Kansas City. It's exactly what happened in other failed municipal retail experiments all around the country. I mean, here's the bottom line, and it's real simple. When private grocery stores fail, investors lose money. When government grocery stores fail, you and I lose money. Every time. Every time taxpayer dollars are used for some type of what should be private enterprise, we all lose. And here's the irony. The same politicians pushing city-run stores also keep passing regulations, taxes, and fees that make it harder for private stores to survive in these low-income neighborhoods. They choke out the competition. Then they swoop in and say, well, don't worry, we'll save you with a taxpayer-funded store. It's like an arsonist opening a fire extinguisher shop. Good. Look, New Yorkers, if you have friends or family in New York, you need to advise them to take a good, hard look at the locked-up Kansas City Sun Fresh before you buy what Mamdani is selling. But this is more than just about New York City and their potential new mayor. This is just a good example of any time the government tries to tell us they can do something better than private enterprise. I feel much better walking into Ingles knowing that Robert Ingles and his family has run that business for all these years. They've made a profit, and they've given you and me good product at a good price. And they haven't taken tax dollars out of my money that should be going to roads and some of the other services that we all have come to expect and deserve. And the other lesson to be learned here, once you give City Hall the keys to your grocery cart, don't be surprised at what they try to take from you next. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Speaking of the Firmin Ford text line, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Firmin Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you can trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Firmin Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Firmin, Matthew Firmin. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Firmin Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Firmin Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Firmin Ford online at firminford.com, firminford.com. That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.